Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, a 30-piece platinum 2005 model year limited edition, the Panerai Radiomir Chronograph for Wempe. This is the PAM 218. Now, this is my kind of Panerai watch, admittedly not one for the purists. Between the combination of precious metal and perhaps high horology aspirations, it's certainly not tactically inspired in any meaningful way, but it is a beautiful watch and nicely sized, especially by Panerai standards. 42 millimeters in diameter, 13.3 millimeters thick. From lug tip to lug tip, we're just measuring the loop lugs. The wire style lugs are 50 millimeters across. They have a 22 millimeter lug spacing. A quick note here, these two screws remove the loop. The wire lugs come apart in the center. These are wire look lugs, not true wire lugs, so you don't have to sew the strap on or cut it off. You simply remove these two screws and the wire lug, we call them skeuomorphs, come right off. Taking a quick look at the watch here, you can see the strap is upscale. Generally, large rectangular symmetrical scale alligator leather is a rare and expensive cut of the animal, and it's something you don't expect to see on a Panerai, where some sort of textile, rubber, or calfskin is more common here. We've got a nice sort of medium brown with red undertones, a glossy, slight gloss, I would say, not high gloss, but slight gloss. A lovely flank, which features a broad but folded edge. It's not sheer cut. And then a lovely sort of off-white contrasting stitch. Calfskin on the bottom. You can see it is a brand new Panerai factory strap. We also have a lovely loop style Radiomir buckle, and you can see it is Panerai branded. They never miss an opportunity, but it echoes the design of the lugs themselves. Now, of course, the original Panerai 3646 combat watch that inspired the modern Radiomir case design would have had welded on wire lugs, and you would have literally sewn the strap on and cut it off as needed. This is more user-friendly, but that is where the design comes from. We have a nice vintage style onion crown, as it's sometimes described. Some will also describe this as sort of a flared gem crown, but what's indisputable is that all of this takes its design language from the very earliest days of Officine Panerai watches, when they were built for Panerai by Rolex, then modified by Panerai for service in the primarily Italian Navy, but armed forces generally, as well as some allies. And of course, what we can see right here is that the dial is a lush and lovely gray, and Panerai's never coy about the use of platinum. They tell you so. And there it is right there, Radiomir Platinum. Now we're looking at a dial that's got a tachometric scale outboard, and this is not a conventional Panerai sandwich dial, since all the features are printed right on top of the dial itself. We do have a screw-down crown here. The watch is water-resistant down to 100 meters, so put it on a different strap, one that's water-resistant. You will be able to swim with this. Now, taking a quick look at the dial, there's no shortage of luminescence, although the chronograph functions maybe aren't as intuitive, and that's a little bit odd because the chronograph seconds hand is not visible, but the chronograph minutes hand is. Okay, I can't quite figure this one out, but it certainly lives up to the brand's reputation for vibrant and visible lume. Now, the watch features a movement that's fascinating because we're not used to seeing it on Panerai. In fact, we're not really used to seeing this movement on anything but Omega Moon watches. This is a Lamagna 1872, which is the two-register version of the 1873 that long formed the basis for the Moonwatch caliber 1861 and 1863, and before that 861 and 863. So this is a Lamagna base. What you can see is actually is quite nicely executed. It's not autologerie in the highest sense, but it is certainly both a cut better than a conventional Panerai movement, as well as any standard Moonwatch. My suspicion here is that there might be a lot of parts that are either decorated by hand to some extent, or they were able to use some of the pieces that are normally reserved for the sapphire sandwich variants of the Moonwatches. All of this does look quite good. I mean, look at the gleaming bevels on those bridges. Now, the movement from a technical standpoint is very much what you would expect from a Moonwatch. Manual wind, 3 hertz, 18 joules, 48-hour power reserve. Doesn't feature hacking, but does feature a very robust architecture, a tough movement that's been through the ringer of NASA tests as well as actual trials in orbit, and This watch right here, featuring a movement with a lot of history behind it. It's a nice match to have a brand and a model line with a lot of history, and then a movement that has its own separate history. It creates a wonderful conversation piece and gives the watch an impressive pedigree. Of course, we've got a fairly large balance. You can see the use of Inca block shock protection. We've got traditional curb pins, then a eccentric screw fine adjustment mechanism. The architecture is quite handsome. There's really nothing you can't see, so it doesn't have that undesirable quality of a lot of automatic or vertical clutch chronographs or automatic vertical clutch chronographs. And then you can see how everything operates on the back. Taking a quick look now. 100 years of Wempe's watchmaking enterprise. Of course, Wempe is a renowned international jeweler based out of Germany, and of course this is a collaboration with that brand to mark its anniversary as a watch supplier on the manufacturing side and not just necessarily as a retailer. So if you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.